The Shiba Inu refused to let the babysitter leave the nursery. Not aggressively. The dog had no aggression, not a single incident. In 4 years, but Kira, the 2-year-old Shiba Inu, had planted herself in the nursery doorway with the quiet implacability of a very small orange boulder, and the babysitter, 19-year-old Taylor, home from her first semester of college, was standing behind her with 17-month-old Liam on her hip, and nowhere to go. The situation had developed at 8:47 p.m. Taylor had put Liam down for the night, back toward the door, and found the dog in the doorway facing in, not out. Facing in, toward the crib, with a posture Taylor could only describe as intentional. Taylor had tried stepping over Kira. Kira had sidestepped. She had tried moving Kira gently with her foot. Kira had planted more firmly. She had picked up Kira. Shiba Inus weigh approximately 20 pounds and feel denser than their size suggests, and set her in the hallway. Kira had returned in 10 seconds and resumed her position. Taylor texted Liam's parents Marcus and Jess, who were 40 minutes away at a restaurant. The text said, "The dog won't let me leave the nursery. This seems weird. Should I be concerned?" Jess called back in 4 minutes. "If you stay for stories about the ones bonded beyond words, subscribe to Bonded and Brave." What is the dog doing, exactly? Sitting in the doorway, facing the crib. Won't move. Jess knew Kira. She knew what Kira's body language looked like when she was being stubborn versus when she was communicating. She had learned the difference across 4 years of cohabitation. Is she stiff or relaxed? Taylor looked. Stiff. Ears forward. Tail straight down, not curled. Kira's tail was one of Shiba Inu's most expressive features. A tight curl when content. A straight drop when something was wrong. "Check on Liam." Taylor moved to the crib. Liam appeared to be sleeping. She reached in and touched his forehead. Her hand came back dry. She looked at his chest. Moving. Breathing. He looks fine. Keep watching. 30 seconds later, Taylor saw it. A tremor. Liam's right arm beneath the sleep sack, making a small rhythmic movement. Then both arms. Then his head turned side to side, chin tucking, the subtle spasm of a febrile seizure beginning. Taylor called 911. She put the phone on speaker and followed the dispatcher's instructions. On his side, clear the crib, don't restrain. Time it. Kira moved from the doorway to the crib side, pressed her nose against the slats, and stayed. The seizure lasted 78 seconds. By the time the paramedics arrived, it had resolved. Liam's temperature was 104.6 degrees. A rapid fever spike triggered by the Roseola virus. Febrile seizures in this age group are almost always benign, the paramedic told Taylor, but you need to be in the room when they happen. Untended, a child this age can aspirate or roll into a position that compromises the airway. Taylor had been about to leave the nursery for the night. Kira had kept her there. Has a pet ever stopped you from leaving a room, and you later understood why? Tell us. Some positions are held for a reason. The pediatrician explained Roseola to Marcus and Jess the following morning. A virus common in infants and toddlers. Incubation period 7 to 14 days. Presence as a sudden high fever followed by a rash as the fever breaks. Febrile seizures affect 2 to 5% of children under 5 during fever spikes. Usually brief, usually benign, always terrifying. What would have happened if Taylor had left the room? Marcus asked. He would have seized alone in the crib. Most likely, he would have recovered without incident. But if he had rolled prone during the postictal phase and his airway was compromised, that's the risk. Marcus looked at Kira, asleep on the nursery floor beside the crib where Liam was napping. She had been there since the ambulance left. She had eaten her dinner and returned. She had slept through the night with her back against the crib slats. The temperature was normal this morning. The rash was emerging, the fine pink spots that meant the fever had broken, and Liam was recovering. Kira had checked him every hour through the night, pressing her nose to the slats. Every bond that holds its position in the dark deserves to be called brave. Subscribe to Bonded and Brave. Taylor came back to babysit the following weekend. She sat in the nursery rocking chair while Liam played on the floor and Kira lay between them. Tail curled tight, the curl that meant content, that meant nothing wrong, that meant everything is as it should be. Taylor had read about febrile seizures on the drive home the night it happened. She had read that most parents who witness one describe it as the most frightening moment of their lives, and that most medical professionals describe it as rarely dangerous, but always requiring supervision. She had also read that dogs can detect fever through thermal radiation and behavioral cues before it reaches clinical crisis point. Kira had known Liam's temperature was rising before his skin felt hot. She had felt the heat radiating from the crib and positioned herself where the information would do the most good. In the doorway, facing the room, holding the line between the baby and the empty hallway. 20 pounds. One doorway. 78 seconds of seizure that no one would have seen. Bonded and brave.